Arsenal wins the league. But at the end of the season, Andy called me back.
Let's go to Tato.
I've been getting into my car at 6 o'clock every day. I can't recall you saying Arsenal this whole season. Today, I heard it. And I'm like, what's going on?
The legendary Goldman Go, Max Maponyane. Max, I wanted to welcome Sizwe Mabena back to the SABC. Click, back.
I remember when I was with Sizwe and the late Gabo Manyapilu. There was a time when we had to initiate him. You know, the good old days when the TV has to close at 12 o'clock, there will be those rainbow colors.
The color bars, yes.
So sending him to the van to ask for color bars.
I thought I heard cannabis. so I go to the van. Upra, Max, but that's really cannabis. So I didn't even ask for cannabis. I asked cannabis.
Max, how you know, man?
Sky is the limit, and you know that you can have what you want, be what you want, have what you want, be what you want.
Sports Night Amplified with Andile on Metro FM. Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Game over.
Exactly 9, about to go 10 after the hour 6 on the mighty Metro FM. Thibaut Touch and Lude Love, they're out of here for yet another day. They're back tomorrow between 3 and 6. Do catch them for the best, and I mince not my words when I say this, drive show anywhere on the airwaves is on Metro FM. It's called The Touchdown every single weekday between 3 and 6. This year is Sports That Amplified with Andile. I am Andile Ngube. There's quite a lot to do today, so I want to try and get to it quite quickly. I think the most urgent one, the most pertinent one, being the chat we're about to have with the SAFA, the South African Football Association head of referees, Abdul Ibrahim, who's already on the line and holding. So we're going to have that conversation with him in a couple of seconds. But also, there was another goal that has even people that think they know offside thinking twice or three times about it. And that's the goal that was the equalizer for Swallows last night against Sundowns. Rulani Mokoena saying both goals were offside. Was it onside? Was it offside? The offside rule has changed so many times that some people have been left behind. So we'll catch you up on that. We'll call Victor Hlungwane, who in my opinion is the best. As far as analysis on radio and television of offside, of refereeing decisions, for me, Victor Hlungwane is the best. So we'll give him a call and he'll let us know the rule pertaining to what we saw yesterday. Sundowns versus Swallows, the 2-2 draw, especially focusing on that second one. So, Coach Rulani Mokoena, I hope you're listening here. We're going to have him break it down with his vast knowledge of years of experience being a CAF and a DSTV Premiership referee. We're also going to go to Europe, yeah? We're also going to go to Europe as well. But let's begin perhaps with the one that everybody's been talking about. Every single coach, and I've got all the clips here. I've got it. I've got it when Coach Rulani complained, when Coach Ernst Middendorp complained, Kwanele Kopo complained. You can go back to Romain Falls, Siad Ramovic, all the coaches that have complained about the standard of refereeing. But there's only one man that can clear our heads. It's Abdul Ibrahim, SAFA head of referees, is on the line right now. So let's go straight to it. Abdul, it's been a while. Are you well?
I'm very good, sir. Thank you very much for having me.
It's been a while, man. What you been up to, huh? Been busy?
Refereeing keeps one busy, and you should know I'm always busy as far as refereeing is concerned.
You know, you said to me that what you don't enjoy or like is getting these calls when the referees aren't doing well or when there's been an incident that hasn't been gotten right. You know, you'd also like the praise. Well, I'd like to tell you that every single Monday we have a feature that just looks at refereeing, and we give you your praise as much as we, you know, call you for these sorts of things. And I hope that that does make it a little bit easier to say when you've done well, we do give you a heads up.
You know, I guess it does, but I think what we should get more out there is the education of refereeing. You know, we should put more programs on the air actually educates everybody with regards to refereeing and refereeing decisions. And I think that would make things a lot easier.
Where, according to you, is that level of referees, that standard that the referees have set? I'm not looking at anything past just this particular season. What do you think the refereeing standard has been? And I say this on the back of yet another coach complaining about the standard of refereeing. Last weekend, you had two coaches in the Nedbank Cup quarterfinalists saying, this is just not good enough. Last night again, another coach coming out saying this is not good enough. All of this lands on your desk, of course. According to you and what you've observed and what you've seen, where is that standard of your referees?
You know, I like to listen to people's comments as far as refereeing is concerned. And yes, these coaches, and Ernst Middendorp was one, the coach from AmaZulu was another, the coach from TS Galaxy was another, and now Rolani Mokoena also went out criticizing referees and the officiating. But they don't give us any facts. When you speak about a topic, you must be informed about the topic. And refereeing is unfortunately one topic that a lot of our coaches do not know anything about. They know something about it. I heard Coach Rolani mention that he knows the laws of the game. Knowing the laws of the game is one thing. Understanding it and how to apply the laws is something different. How to analyze a challenge, how to analyze offside, comes with considerations, which goes back to the laws of the game. This is what is important. So, yes, I suppose opinions are going to be out there that the standard of refereeing is not good. When a mistake happens, all of a sudden refereeing gets the blame, but that is not the case. And somebody has said that I always defend refereeing. I don't defend refereeing. We need to look at the facts and the reality out there. Yes, mistakes do happen, and those mistakes are dealt with. People think, I think, this is my opinion, that people think that the refereeing or the people involved in the refereeing sit back and relax and look at an error and say, you know what, it's just another error. Let's see what happens as far as that is concerned. No, we don't. Even in a match where there's absolutely no issues, no one makes a noise, no one says anything, we pick up things and we deal with it. And that is, to me, what is very important. I have listened to criticism in all my refereeing life, from the days that I officiated from the year 1999 all the way to when I retired in 2011. People criticize left, right, and center, but they will not come to you when they really look at an incident and realize that they've made a mistake. They will not come back to you and say, I've made an error in the way I analyzed. So, you know what? Everybody has an opinion as far as refereeing is concerned, but when we look at refereeing, we look at the overall picture. A referee makes, like I've said in the past, a referee will make 20 to 30 decisions in a game. He gets one wrong. And now we criticize him as the worst thing as far as football is concerned. And this is unfortunately what we do. But at the end of the day, like I said, yes, errors do happen in the game, and we try and deal with it as best we possibly can.
Abdul, and I completely hear that. It's just, it feels like, and you can tell me statistically, because you review all the games, you review all the decisions, you sit with the referees after. It feels like this season in particular, I mean, last season maybe a little bit better, but even then, I remember you saying to me that there needs to be a lot more work done, but, there's space for improvement, basically, was what you said.
Yes.
You look at this season, it feels like there's just a lot more space that's needed, more than what it was last season. It feels like from where the standards were last season, this season has dropped even further as far as clinical decisions that decide big matches, or any match, for instance, because if you're the team playing, it's a big match for you. It feels like there's just more decisions that are gotten wrong than right this season in comparison to others. What, as far as you know, as far as where you're sitting, when you look at the statistical facts, has this season been bad in comparison?
Well, there may be one or two more errors than what happened last year, but if you look at last season and the season before, at the start of the season, there are always one or two little issues that creep into the game. Then you have a lull period, where no one is moaning, no one is complaining, everything seems to be fine. Then you have a week or two when supposedly things are going wrong. There's one or two errors again, and then you have a quiet period again. And it has been exactly the same this year. But again, that doesn't mean that we are sitting still and doing nothing. I will not say that the standard of refereeing has dropped from last year, from the season before to this year. No, there are still errors happening. And it's important for us to get to the bottom as to why these errors are occurring. Is it the individual? Is it something individuals like that he's bringing into the game? Does he just not 100% understand the considerations that go with a particular incident? Those are all the kinds of things that we look at.
You've looked at those things. I mean, we almost, 9, 10 games to go, depending on the team that you're looking at to the end of the season. You've had 20 games just in the DStv Premiership to look at why those decisions have been made. What have been your findings as to why we falter so much when we do?
When we look at matches, and let's say, for example, we see an error. For example, a red card should have been given here. We see a serious foul play challenge, but the referee doesn't blow the whistle. He doesn't even issue a card, etc. So now, when we analyze that incident, we would look at, one, the position of the referee, because obviously that is key. If a referee is 40 to 50 yards away from an incident, we cannot expect a credible decision. If a referee has an obstructed view, obviously the referee may not see something that everyone else is seeing on television, And these are the kind of things that we talk about at our mid-season. Positioning and reading the game is very, very key to match officials. And this is why what we instill in them come preseason, even during our mid-season. So there are various things that we pick up, and we work on them throughout the season. Like I said, Abdul Ibrahim may have had a quiet match, but there are one or two points in the game that no one may have picked up, but the assessor or the review committee may have, and we may not recommend a rehabilitation period, but we get those referees to sit with various instructors so that they can just go through that particular topic. So a referee, for example, we had an offside incident, so let's use the offside. So now we realize that, okay, fine, the team may have gotten an offside incident into it. Now we look at why. Was the AR correctly positioned? Was there good communication between the referee and the AR? Those are all the things we look at. And if there wasn't effective communication, if the AR was not well positioned, now he needs to sit down and firstly explain how he got to his decision, and then obviously the instructor will take them through the necessary.
By the way, for those of you listening who are wondering why, it's an agreement between Abdul and I, but also it is just a respect for Abdul. I cannot ask him to look at particular incidences of referees that have been gotten wrong or right. It is something that professionally he can't answer in any case. So it's not something that we're going to be going to. But Abdul, you say positioning, and we know that positioning is possibly one of the biggest part of a referee's job, to make sure that they're at the right place to see the play. Yes, there's long balls that are played and they have to do the long track and they're not always in the right position. But with this particular referees in South Africa, my mind is going to go to the fact that they're not going to be positioned properly because these are the same ones that failed a physical assessment.
When you say failed assessment, what are you referring to?
In January? What happened in January during the assessment? There were referees that didn't quite make it, isn't it? Until you guys had to redo it.
That is correct. And when we did our investigations, we picked up an anomaly with the instructor that was involved. Hence, we had to do a retest, like we always do when we have match officials who fail.
So then are you saying that the assessment was wrong, that the referees were actually fit enough?
What we are saying is that we picked up an anomaly with the instructor, the physical instructor involved in doing the assessments, and it had to be rectified. The matter went to the NRC, and it was then decided to do a rerun. And like I said, we always do a rerun when match officials failed. And the rerun was done. It was carried out by Ms. Tracy Lovell, who is a FIFA physical instructor, and all the match officials passed the test rerun.
I want to go back to your time even, and a couple of years back when we would see South African referees going to CAF tournaments, going to FIFA tournaments. What is the ratio of our referees now going to those big tournaments for the great work that they're doing in this league, that they're being awarded and rewarded? I mean, I've got Tom in my mind, I've got Akona in my mind. Those are the only two that I can think of. Is this also normal that we're not getting recognition from our referees from, a CAF perspective, from a FIFA perspective? Or is this further maybe conversation that we can have to say, has the standard really dropped?
Okay. I do remember 2006 we had Jerome Damon Enoch Molefe. 2010 we had Jerome Enoch Molefe. 2014 we had Daniel Bennett. What comes after 2014? 2018 we had Zakele Siwela. I'm not sure who the referee was who was with him at the World Cup. And then 2020, last year we had Victor Gomes. And not last year, the year before, Victor Gomes and Zakele Siwela.
And at the moment?
And our current referee is Abongile Tom. So I don't see, and our referees have been getting regular international matches. Abongile Tom, Akona Makalima, Zakele Siwela, Jelly Chavani, Alpha Satole have been getting international matches. So I fail to see why everybody thinks, or you may make a comment that they are no longer getting the recognition. You must remember we also have two professional referees with CAF in Abongile Tom and Akona Makalima. So that trend, yes, we would love to see more names there. Like we would have loved to see Zakele Siwela at the AFCON. But when CAF makes a decision, exactly the same with FIFA. They have a panel of referees that they put through various causes. And at the end of the day, they have to select a final panel, and it's not a matter of, South Africa was not selected because they are not good enough. It's a matter of they got invited to all the causes, but didn't get to make the last panel for the final. So it's the same with every other country. Not all the referees that are invited to the initial causes are going to make the final group. And like we proved every year since 2006 till 2022, that our referees were exceptional enough to make the final panels, and this is still where we keep our fingers crossed and hope that even CAF and FIFA make those final decisions to include South African match officials.
I mean, Abdul, I can't complain. You've answered all my questions, but I sit here and I wonder, and I watch football. There's no PSL game that I don't watch, be it live or maybe afterwards or maybe just seeing the incident. You sit where you sit right now as a SAFA head of referees. You look at the season that we've had. You honestly sit there and think to yourself, we've had a decent to good season. How would you, in your mind, having been involved for so long, you look at this particular season, you'd rate it as a good season for the referees?
Since I've been in office, I try and watch as many matches as I can. I know my hair has gone from having some black hair to all grey. But you must know, I'm very critical of referees. And I'm never happy 100% with refereeing performances. There's always a point of improvement. And this is what people must understand. This is what we try and do all the time. We pick up something, we communicate with instructors, and obviously they get to take it further. So yes, there are those very good, excellent games. Then there are the matches where referees make one or two errors, and those are the ones that really take the black out of my hair. And it's not that we sit still and don't do anything. We, every year, every month, every week, we say that referees can improve, and we need to find ways and means. I mean, we've been talking VAR for South Africa for so long, but again, VAR may not solve all our issues. At the end of the day, the VAR is still a match official that needs to be trained. They use the same considerations that referees do. It's just that they have the added benefit of additional video footage, whereas the referee has to make a split-second decision. So at the end of the day, one, we are hoping that VAR can come into South Africa sooner rather than later. And two, even having VAR may not solve all the decisions. I mean, we saw Mamelodi Sundowns versus the Young Africans. Did the whole of the ball cross the line, cross the goal line?
Oh, did it, Abdul? Did it? Did the...
Look, at the end of the day, we do not have conclusive evidence. And in the absence of that, the VAR did the correct thing to stick to the referee's on-field decision. And that is all he could tell the referee. I have no conclusive evidence, therefore the on-field decision remains. Had we had a camera on the goal line or we had goal line technology, it would have made the job so much easier.
Abdul, you're speaking about VAR, and there's big questions because we see it here and we see it work when there's CAF matches, when there's big international matches of that format. How far are we?
Well, the referee is ready to commence with training. But the discussions are ongoing. And we need to appoint a VAR project manager. And as soon as that is in place and we have the necessary budgets in place, we can let people know that this is what we require. But the refereeing is ready to go. In the country currently, we have two of the top FIFA VAR instructors in Jerome Damon and Victor Gomes. All we would need to do is bring in a FIFA instructor who could oversee the entire process, and we can commence our VAR training. All we need is a 10 to 14-day extensive training program, and not just match officials. I'm also talking now technical replay operators that are involved in the VOR. So we are ready. It's just a matter of the powers that be.
So, Abdul, I'm correct to say it's not going to be next season. Forget about it. There's not enough time to implement everything that you've just said. It's not going to be next season.
Well, we keep our fingers crossed that something can happen. If not now, then during next season.
All right. Before I let you go as well, I mean, there was a complaint from Siad Ramovic, which I think this would particularly be for you, and this is something that I'm hoping you can answer. The allocation of referees to games. He said 4 games. I think he said in a row, but he said 4 games, the same referee, not been good in any of the games as far as he's concerned, but he still gets the same referee refereeing his games. Speak to us about the allocation of games to referees.
4 games in a row for the same team, that is impossible. That is impossible. You must know that the appointments come through my office, and those are the kind of things that I look at.
And what about in close succession then?
No, sir. We don't. We try to keep referees away from teams at least 2 weeks or 2 matches. But you must also know there's a lot that goes into appointments. If we need a particular referee for a particular match, then that is the appointment that will be made. But as far as I know, referees do not do teams 2 weeks, 2 matches, or sometimes even 3 matches in a row. No, sir. That's not possible. 4 matches, the same referee? No.
Well, Siat, Tim Sugazi, I know you listen to the show. I hope you heard that there. And Abdul, I get it. The referee makes one mistake, and that mistake is what's spoken about. But it's the mistake that decides the match, isn't it? It is not just a mistake where a player, takes the ball out or handles it in the middle of the park. It is a difference between a position in the PSL, a win of a trophy, millions of rands, and the loss thereof. So surely that is, something that I would think would be held in higher regard. But I hear you, and I must be very honest. I don't have any more. The stats sit with you guys, and if you're looking at the stats and you're saying to me that it is no different from any other season, it feels like it. I must be honest. It feels like it. It's more complaints from coaches than ever, from fans than ever. It's more critical decisions that we have to bring here with our referee, Victor, here and say, hey, what do you make of this and this? It feels like it's a worse season. But you're saying to me, you're looking at the stats, and it is pretty much, the same incidences here and there that need relooking and reworking and, just getting the guys trained better.
That is it. The bottom line, we need We need to Hello?
I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me. So there's an incoming call from the same number that called me. And as I was saying, that is the bottom line. We don't want to have the same season as last year or the year before. We want to keep improving. This is why we work as hard as we can as far as refereeing is concerned. Like I said at the start, referees are human. And we try our best to ensure, not try our best, we know that we are giving them the best information because the information we get comes directly from FIFA. The interpretations we get comes directly from FIFA, and this is what we give to our match officials. The same training they will get if they should go on a FIFA course at any FIFA workshop is exactly what they get here in South Africa. So it's a matter of ensuring that our referees are always mentally okay, that they are physically okay, they are technically okay, and it's also important to touch base with them on a personal basis, because just like everybody else in this world, we all go through personal things, and that could hamper performances. And I'm not saying that there are external things that are hampering refereeing performances, but it can happen. But we are always trying to improve from one year to the next.
We haven't quite done it this year, Abdul. I'm hoping that next year perhaps it'll be a lot better. But thank you so much for talking to us. I always respect and appreciate that you make time to answer these questions, and we hope that we will do improve a little bit. Right now, though, we need to go teach people about that offside rule from yesterday's game.
No problem at all. As you said earlier, I won't comment on that, unfortunately.
I do realize this. I wish sometimes you would, just maybe I must get you on a Sunday evening. Are you, a couple of glasses of red wine? That's your thing, I hear, Abdul?
Maybe when I get to retire totally from refereeing, then you and I can chat.
Are you thinking about retirement already?
No, I'm just saying, what, I'm going to be 58 years old. You never know when people
You're 58 years young.
Enough.
Come on.
You never know when people decide that I have enough in refereeing. So, yeah, we'll see.
Abdul Ibrahim, head of referees at SAFA. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Only a pleasure. Thank you very much.
He's out of here. It's exactly 18:35. Let's take a quick break. Then when we come back, Victor Hlungwane is on the line already. He's waiting. Like I said to you guys, when it comes to refereeing decisions, you can't tell me different to what Victor Hlungwane has told me. As much as when Victor said it to me, it is the Bible. I've seen Victor at the biggest games, at CAF, in the DSTV Premiership. He's won the best referee in this country. He's even got more experience now. So we'll go straight to him after this before we go to Europe.
Attention to all music lovers. The highly anticipated Metro FM Music Awards are finally here.
Yo, y'all ready?
Purchase your tickets to gain access to the awards ceremony and the live concert happening on the 27th of April 2024 at Mbombela Stadium, Mpumalanga.
Yo, we about to have some fun in here.
You can now secure your tickets from 300 Rand at www.computicket.co.za.
Yeah, man, this is a big night.
With a star-studded lineup of DJs and live performances, don't miss your chance to be part of this unforgettable celebration of talent and music excellence.
Come on, Mbombela, come through. Let's do this.
Hashtag MMA24, Black to the Future. Metro FM, it's where you want to be.
Sports Night Amplified with Ndile on Metro FM.
Arsenal going down to Aston Villa by 2-0. If that's not a concussion for a heart attack, a headache, and a divorce, I don't know what is. Well, at the moment, Arsenal, are they Arsenaling? I'm asking. I said they would. Are they Arsenaling? Are Arsenal Arsenaling is the question. Where's the Arsenal people? Let's go to Lunga.
Blind. Yo.
Butatagi.
That's Pitori. I would tell Arteta, but that's Pitori. I would say my language you'll understand. Arteta Gufana.
Wabon. And Damano Moegu Khurmanaha.
What again? Arteta Gufana. Arteta Gufana. Arteta Gufana.
6 to 7 p.m.
It's the offside rule, and the offside, is it a goal or is it not a goal? Should it have been offside? That's got the whole of football talking, because seemingly people don't quite understand or know the rule, or the interpretation of the rule is different. Victor Hlungwane, the principal, is what we call him. Now, he's joining us on the line because we want to talk about last night's game, Swallows versus Sundowns. Vic?
team and Kajen.
Listen, the reason I think, we just spoke to Abdul now, and he says, no, man, it's no different from any other season as far as the levels of refereeing is concerned. Do you know why I think it's a lot? You know why I think it's worse?
Yeah.
Because I'm calling you a lot more than I did last year. Me and you are talking a lot more. But let's go to last night. Coach Rana Mokoena is convinced that it was Offside that stole 2 points from his team. Here's Coach Rana Mokoena speaking about yesterday's incidents.
It's the third time this season Sundowns has VAR. Third time this season. And you are not writing about it. Both goals are offside. The first goal is an offside. The second goal is also offside. And I don't need to be explained. I studied the laws of the game very, very well. I don't have my licenses because of fun. I went to a coaching school. I studied you can ask me about any law of the game. I know the laws of the game. It's one of the most important things to know before you coach.
He might say they don't write about it, but Victor, you remember we spoke about it, and I asked you, I said, how Sesne VAR now? I remember it was a game at Loftus. I asked you those questions, but you know what? Let me not tell you. Have a listen.
I haven't spoken about the referees the entire season. This time I will speak because that is very bad. And that's not a mistake. When we make mistakes, it's mistakes, but that's not a mistake. The assistant ref, he puts the flag for offside. Then they consult. Who are you consulting? Who was Jelly consulting? Okay, you tell me who was Jelly consulting. He went to the assistant ref. He stood there. He put the hand. He's talking to somebody. Who is he talking? VAR. You have VAR in South Africa now all of a sudden.
Vic, this is something that's concerned me even. And I've asked you about it to say, when decisions get overturned because the referee called it and then he stands there and he thinks about it and then overturns the decision as if he's watching it back in his mind. Let's perhaps start with that.
Yeah, let's start with the two offside goals that Coach
Okay, we can.
Yeah. The first one, there is an element of offside. We just need to draw the line to ascertain ourselves that indeed. But Charlie, when the ball was played, he looks like it's in front of the defender who's far. But for us to be 100% sure, we need to draw the line. But when Coach Rulan says both goals were offside, he has a smaller case there where if we draw the line, we find the shoulder of the player is in front because it's only the hand of the opponent on the far side that put him onside. So when we draw the line, we'll be able to ascertain whether indeed the shoulder of Mchali was in front, then offside. But then that will need our image, But when we come to the next one, in terms of the communication system that the referees have, there's 4 officials there. At any time they can communicate. They can't communicate with anyone outside. The match commissioner has an additional set, but he cannot have an input on the officials on the field of play. They have to communicate and make up a call from that perspective. Now, coming to the interpretation of the laws, when we started this...
Hold on, very quickly, Tare. You're saying, he's allowed to... So if he's listening in his ear, he's either listening to the 2 assistants or to the 4th official. That's who he's listening to.
Exactly, yes.
And therefore, informed by what they're saying, he can then change his mind without seeing anything, right? Exactly. And you're assuring me again that the 4th official sitting halfway line, because that's where he sits, he does not look at any apparatus that could assist him visually before he overturns a decision. You're telling me that when there's goal mouth action, like that first Sundowns goal perhaps, he can see it from there, without watching the screens that the teams watch or the broadcasters got there. You're saying those decisions are made without him seeing a screen?
Exactly. The 4th official is not allowed and cannot go to the screen. Remember, he's sitting between the 2 benches. His job is to control the 2 benches. What the bench sees and the 2 benches sees, while they are sitting there, they can see everything that is happening in the penalty area. But in terms of law, we expect the referee who's closer to the action to give us a credible decision because he's in a credible position. So now when a referee cannot give a decision and he communicates with someone who's far, it's inappropriate because someone who's closer needs to give us a credible decision as when we go
because
to training,
that 4th official eats the best carrot in the world.
They will teach us that you need to get to a better position in order to see. So someone who's far cannot see better than you who is closer.
Okay, let's get to that second goal now.
The second goal, when we started the season, I said to you that this new rule that is FIFA has introduced is going to confuse many people. And I even said to you, that someone who has played football will easily interpret this than someone who has not played football in terms of the referees. But let's go through the law. It says deliberate play. Remember we said deliberate play and deflection. Now, let's go to deliberate play because there was no deflection in that incident. Deliberate play is when a player has control of the ball with the possibility of passing the ball to a teammate, gaining possession of the ball, clearing the ball by kicking or heading it. That is the definition of deliberate play by law, that the player must have control of the ball. If it goes further down, it says the following criteria should be used as appropriate as indicators that a player was in control of the ball and as a result can be considered to have deliberately played the ball. Now, let's go one by one. You look at that incident, the ball was played from a distance. So the consideration one, it says the ball traveled from distance and the player had a clear view of the ball. Yes, Lunga, the ball was traveling from a distance. He had clear of the ball. We give it a tick. Now we go to the next one. The ball was not moving quickly. Now, me and you can answer this one. Was the ball moving quickly or slowly? And if you look, it was a long ball. So we can say the ball was moving quickly because a long ball, you have to shoot it. And then we come to the next one. The direction of the ball was not unexpected. Yeah, we can say the player expected the ball because he could see, he could move towards the ball to position himself in order to play it. We go to the next one. The player had time to coordinate their body movement. This is the big one, Does the player have time to coordinate their body movement? If you move in a reverse, do you have time to coordinate your body movement? The answer is no. Even a car will reverse it. You cannot reverse at 100 because you have to be careful of the movement. Then the last one, a ball moving on the ground is easier to play than a ball in the air. So if you look at that incident, the ball was moving in the air. So when the ball moves in the air, and then traveling at high speed and you are moving backwards, will you be able to control the ball as a key determining factor that the player was in control of the ball? The answer is no. So that's where offside comes in. That's when the assistant referee drew the consideration and flag for offside because he feels that the player was backpedaling. He never had control of the ball. That's why he headed the ball in that direction. And then Mango was in an offside position. So that is, it said offside gaining an advantage when the ball that rebounds or was saved or was played to him and he gained advantage by being in that position. So in this situation, offside gaining an advantage by being in that position because of this new consideration.
So basically what you're saying is that second goal, Swallows versus Sundowns, the Mango goal that gets headed back after the long ball, should have been ruled offside. The assistant referee should not have been overruled.
Exactly. If you remember, when we played in Egypt, we beat Egypt 1-0 through a lost goal. We went on to play Nigeria. Zungu scored a goal after a Nigerian defender headed the ball. He jumped and he headed the ball. Zungu was in an offside position. He scored that ball. That ball was given to us as a goal because that law was not changed. Then FIFA came to change this law and say deliberate play is when a player has control of the ball. Previously, we didn't care about control. Once you play the ball, you jump, you have played the ball. Now they made a new change that, to me, it's confusing, but it needs a thorough understanding in order to interpret this. I was not surprised when the referees differed in that decision because I said it from the beginning of the season that this is going to create problems because control of the ball is a little bit difficult. But then when you go one by one and dissect it, that's when you find out, in terms of control of the ball, as the player is reversing, it's difficult for you to control the ball in the air while you are reversing.
So, okay. The bottom line, though, that was offside. Should have stayed offside after the assistant referee said it was offside. Jelishivane should not have changed the decision. Rulane is correct. He studied the rules, and the rules that he was speaking of should have stood.
Because of this new consideration.
I wonder, Jelishivane, does he know the new consideration?
I will leave that to the instructors.
Victor Hlungwane, I appreciate you. You've spoken. The principal has spoken. School is out.
Thank you very much, Ma.
Thank you so much. It's 1848 on the Mighty Metro FM. There, you heard it, guys. Because there was such a big conversation about that. Is it onside? Is it offside? Does the fact that a Sundowns player is the last one to hit it and it touched him before it left make it that Mango's onside? Well, Rulane, you were spot on there, according to Victor Hlungwane, the principal. Take a quick break. My man, Omar Katugba. Hey, I saw you there, with the best coach in the world right now, taking pictures, having conversations. Let's take a quick break.
Sports Night Amplified with Andile on Metro FM.
The three wise men are here. Victor Hlungwane, former CAP and PSL referee, Mazula Malefe, SABC Sports senior reporter on Soccer Zone, SABC 1, 10 o'clock. We're going to have a field day because there's so many issues to talk about. Let's go to Jimmy. Jimmy. Hey.
Social media.
Sharpie, so you heard, right? On Facebook, the clips from Soccer Zone of the referee speak the same way we do on Twitter. Mazola, let's please do it. Jimmy, for you, it will be done.
6 to 7 p.m.
Visit betway.co.za and never miss out on the non-stop action. Get way more with Betway.
What a weekend of football. Some scintillating ties to set up an incredible week of sport. European Cup fixtures are back and Betway are giving you a chance to win a share of 500,000 rand with their Champions League promotion. Don't forget to visit betway.co.za for the latest amazing promotions. The action never stops with Betway.
Visit betway.co.za to bet on every unforgettable sporting moment. Get way more with Betway.
All right, here we go. Call Metro FM now on 0860 002160.
You heard the number, 086-000-2160. We're supposed to be speaking to Omar Katugba, but I think we're having an issue with the line to Germany where he is at the moment. He was live for the Bayer Leverkusen victory, watching them for the first time in their history win that trophy. But furthermore, he had I saw pictures and conversations with some of the players and the coach as well. And this is why we speak to Omar, because Omar TV, Omar Katugba Television, is the channel that he has. He's always got the best news from front row seats. He speaks to the players in Europe. He speaks to the coaches in Europe, and it's always great to get it from him firsthand. We're struggling a little bit to get a hold of him. So in the meantime, we can take your calls and your WhatsApps on 060-552-7303 as far as your WhatsApps are concerned.
Drop us a voice note on 060-552-7303.
Waking up, I'm too turned up.
Andile, look, I totally disagree with the ref there. I think maybe he's also tired. He just needs to take a break from the sports. But look, if there's electricity, there's no reason to praise ESCOM because that's what they're supposed to do. If a ref takes 20 to 30 decisions in a game and those decisions are not game-changing decisions, it's fine. But if a ref goes on to make a terrible mistake that changes the game with statuses, leagues involved, qualifications, all these things are involved, we're bound to focus on that. And that's where the problem is. Not the number of decisions that they get right, but the crucial decisions 100%. That they actually do get wrong, which is something that is on the rise right now.
You're 100%. But see, it becomes difficult when we don't sit with the statistics of wrong decisions because that's something that SAFA keeps to themselves. So I can only rely on what Abdul tells me. If I say, look at the seasons previously, look at this season, it looks really bad. And he says, no, it's actually quite the same. There has not been an improvement, nor has there been a downward spiral of decisions. We can only but accept what he says.
So now,
Pretoria.
the referee can the decision and then I one wrong. So to applaud the referee who decision one wrong out of 30. No, and it doesn't work like that. Football, it decides you are getting marginal decisions. Just one mistake if I look over closely. The team can win one not. So one mistake alone I bet him.
And that's what I was saying. It only takes one decision. One decision.
Hi, Andile. You know what? I'm here listening to you and Mr. Abdul. Mr. Abdul is like he's protecting the referees. So these guys are causing the people's job. So they don't understand the law of the game. So I feel pity for the coaches, you understand? Every day, every game, there are some mistakes. And those mistakes are causing people's job, you understand? So I feel very, very, very bad for the coaches. Thank you so much. My name is Andres.
Andres, I appreciate it.
Evening, ma. I call. Let me tell you, much about referee manje no same thing too much. Same thing too much. Ngale good bajoru, Mr. Ref file to cabanga decision nje emoyeni. Asayithethe nje. Ngiyizwa kahle. Ngiyizwa. Amele bayohlala phansi balungisa.
Evening Metro FM, evening Andile.
Hey.
Just one question to Davik, ne? Remember there's this rule before the introduction of a VAR. Especially since when you don't have VAR in South Africa. The rule says referee's decision is final.
It's still the rule.
So now, after that game yesterday at Sundowns, which means the referee's decision is no longer final, because initially it was given as an offside, and then Jerry Chavan had to go and consult. I can say even now it's like then the decision was overturned, the goal was given. So my question is that the referee's decision is no longer final. It's no longer Rustenburg. Thank you.
Let's take the calls. I want to take the calls. Let's speak to some people. Mlungisi is out in Nanda. Mlungisi.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Go for it.
I'm very disappointed with the head of referees. I will give you some few details there. There was a game between Amazulu and Chipa last day. You can go and check it on the 28th of October 23. It was on the dying minutes of the game where Velemuta hold the ball, and then the guy by the name of Capito, and then he kicked the goalkeeper, and then it ended up in the Queen net. And also there was a game between Amazulu and Sundowns. And Amazulu scored a goal, then they say it was an offside. And also, I don't know, it was between Amazulu and Skukune or Polokwane, where the keeper was bambi ball and the defender of, I don't know, it's a Polokwane, he hold it with the hand. I thought that time Amazulu was supposed to get a penalty. And also this past weekend, same Pirates get the Matola penalty. See, by the end of the day, Amazulu didn't play this well in the season, but we are even there for some of the league. The reason is also we have to blame the referees.
Yeah, I'm
looking
unfortunately, Abdul cannot, even if I ask him individual question to say, what do you think of this decision? He's not allowed by his job, the laws that govern his job. He's not allowed to tell us, good, this decision was wrong, this one was right. He's not allowed to tell us, this referee was good, this referee is bad. We can't even get a match report to say, hey, these referees made this many wrong decisions. All we have to rely on is when I ask him, what is the level? And he says, it's growing, it can be better. There's nothing else.
It was worse. But if you can check all this, what I told you, Amazon, they are there in the bottom because of their referees. At the end of the day, we're going to blame the coaches. But the referee's performance is very poor.
I appreciate you. Let's go to Dixon Kwamhlanga. It's been a while, Dixon. Welcome.
Hi, Ondi, how are you?
No, I'm good, man. How are you?
You know that artist, Afro Man?
There?
Yeah, the song goes like, I was supposed to blow for offside, but I was high. I could have read the loss of the game, but I was high. Andy, always when Jelly Javan is officiating the game, I always look for controversy. I know something is going to happen.
Yeah, but Dixon, man, let's respect him a little bit, man. But I guess you're speaking about the Afro, saying he looks like the Afro man. You're not saying he was high. You're saying he looks like the Afro man, right?
Yeah, but Andy, this guy always, all the time, almost all the time when he's officiating the game, always something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Something is going to happen.
Well, he got it wrong last night. That's official. Dixon Kwamhlanga, I always appreciate your support. We don't always agree, Dixon, but you're more than welcome all the time. Let's go to Tumelo. Tumelo is out in the south of Johannesburg. Oh, Tumelo's gone. Mike in Sasolburg. Hey, Mike. I'm good, man. Go for it.
Two things. One, I feel like we're being too harsh on our referees. Because remember, these people have to make decisions on the spot, right? So now we're watching from our TVs and there's replays and all of that. So they have to make split-second decisions. That's number one. Number two, it has taught me two things. One, it has taught, look, I think seen as at any given point in time, for me, there are 23, I mean, 11, there are 23 players on the field.
11, right? Including the ref, yeah.
Including the referee. So I think maybe it's time that we introduce Molaonyana Oiting so that referees can also be eligible for Man of the Match awards, right? Because they play, if you think about it,
but Mike, I want to go to your first point. My second point.
My second point is, you know, I was watching the game yesterday from our friends in Randburg. Those people, they were very convinced that thing is offside. Even I was convinced it was offside.
Because you were convinced by them. Mike, I appreciate you. Bye-bye, Mike. Listen, faith is walking. You know what it means when faith is walking? Go for it, buddy. I'm listening.
No, it's fine. You know what, Nip? I'm not going to come on Metro FM and say Victor is better than whoever who's in Randburg or whatever, or one is higher than whoever. But why must we come on radio and praise a fish for
swimming? And that's what I was going to say to the previous caller, to say your point one, it's null and void. It's their job. If you're teaching a class of 50 kids, you can't say, no, the teacher can't handle a class of 50 kids must pass.
Thank you. I think me and you agree. You can continue with faith. Thank you.
You can continue. Bye-bye. And he's right. It's almost top of the hour, 7 o'clock. You're not smiling. Are you okay?
I am okay. I'm very okay. Hi. I'm smiling now. How are you?
Okay. I'm not okay.
Oh, goodness me. What happened? Tell me, why aren't you okay?
You know, back in the day, it was you'd be wherever you are, at home, out and about in the streets, and you'd see a girl you like, and you'd say to her, and these were famous words. Ask your parents about these words, and they'll tell you. If you're with somebody who's of age in the car, they're going to smile when I say this, and they're going to laugh. You're going to say, so this is, you know, and you would kappa the person. You know, she would either say yes or no to please accompany me to wherever I'm walking to. You'd have probably another shot if she just doesn't say anything, of saying something smart or funny to get a smile on her face and get like a reluctant, okay, and then you would walk them. And in that walk would be a conversation that you would have to say, number 15, it's not for the first time. And, you know, I don't like that you are lulekai. I'd like for you, Uti, sometimes umongene. You know,
ubulise kai.
Ubulise, and at some point, ngifuna uphumeketi nasekhaya ungasaphumi.
Oh, wow.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
That would be the conversation that would get you guys going. You know, her responses to that will tell you, because you've put it there as to what you want from her, right? Now, and I'm guilty of this. I'm a DMer. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
No,
I don't condone anybody. This is why it's there, for people to have conversations, because they found some sort of synergies from the pages, right? But I think people, there's a newness of people who claim to be so busy. No one is that busy, guys. People are busy, Faith. No, okay, fine. Let's speak maybe in 3 weeks, maybe in a month. No one is that busy. No one is that busy.
So texting, this is the conversation that we're getting into.
How long is this texting period supposed to be? Do you know how many relationships die in the DMs? Die on WhatsApp? Because we've been saying, hey, how are you? How was your day? For 2 months now. I don't think there's anybody, president included, who doesn't have a time to meet somebody that they're talking to, that they're saying they want to meet because they might like, in 7 to 10 days.
Do you know that it's funny that you should say that? I truly believe that a talking stage should be a week maximum.
I agree.
Nothing. In fact, 5 days.
If you don't want to see him after 5 to 7 days,
then
you don't want to see him.
You don't want to see me at all, right? So I don't believe in a talking stage that lasts longer than 7 days. In fact, 7 days, according to me, is too long, because the truth of the matter is, let's say that you saw something on my page and you DM'd me and you said, hi, remember the advice that I gave you last week? Hi, my name is Andile. I really think that your page is amazing. Can we go out for a cup of coffee?
100%.
If we can't move from that, and you are so busy that we can't move from that, that means that you're not interested in me.
100%.
And so I believe, and I think that a lot of people even hold on to the talking stage. I don't even believe in a talking stage. And maybe I'm old school, but I don't. I don't believe in a talking stage. I believe in getting to know a person. But by getting to know a person, look at them in the eyes. Meet them in a public place. Have a cup of coffee with them. Share a meal with them.
Not a dinner, not a lunch, because then that says you're going to be there for long. It takes an hour to order. It takes an hour for the order to come out.
1 o'clock.
30 minutes to an hour's lunch.
Have an actual cup of coffee, right? With a biscuit, right? In fact, in some places they give you the biscuit for free. Mug and bean. Go have those and Doppia Zero and whatever. So I don't believe in a talking stage. I believe that if there's something that you like about me, you'll want to see me. And if you want to see me, knowing me, you'll want to see me some more. But if you don't want to get out of the talking stage and you're still in my DMs, that means that you're not interested. In fact, that means that you're wasting my time. And I have a particular irritation towards people that waste time. Don't waste time, because time is so precious. Rather, let me give, free me to be in the space where I can talk to somebody who genuinely wants to get to know me and somebody who genuinely wants my time. But I'm very selfish with my time. My time is my time. And if I give you my time, it's because I think you mean the world to me.
Then I think we are in consensus here. We agree. No one is that busy.
No one.
I
And
don't care what business
that
they
busy not to text you on the same day that you sent a text.
Nobody's
that busy. Nobody's that busy to respond to your text message.
No.
Nobody's that busy to not call you and find out how your day has been. Nobody's that busy to not say, baby, good night. Nobody's that busy. Hey, Sipizi, I run. You know how many things I run, right? I'm a busy chick. I'm a busy woman, and I'm proud of it. But trust you me, if you message me and say, baby, how was your day? Baby's going to respond, baby, my day was good, thank you. Just running around and doing this. Let's chat maybe in 2 hours, or let's chat in an hour. As busy as I am, I know that I'm not too busy for the person that is in my life. Period.
Guys, just free people from your DMs and your WhatsApps. Free them.
Yeah, and free people from texting them without any intention, so that they can meet people who want to be intentional about their time.
Yeah, free them.
Liberation.
Let's see. No exams are that tough. It's 5 after the hour 7. Faith, what do you have going on?
Well, it is a busy show this evening, but it is one with intention. This evening, we're in conversation with the newly elected Ekurhuleni Executive Mayor, Nkosindi Phile. Krakaza is joining us in the studio to talk us a little bit about it. Yep, indeed, to talk a little bit about the plans for the municipality. We're also going to be talking about the constitutional development. We've got the Deputy Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development, John Jeffrey, to unpack the Judicial Matters Amendment Act of 2023, which came into effect following its approval by President Cyril Ramaphosa. What is this act? We're going to get into it with the Deputy Minister. And then leader of Arise South Africa, that is Mpho Takata. He accuses the IEC of breaching Section 28(1) of the Electoral Commission Act. They are taking the IEC to court. We're going to be in conversation with Mpho Takata as well this evening. And then after 8, I think we're all going to have a moment of it. Right. This evening, we're going to talk about the relevance of black consciousness in a modern and post-democratic South Africa with an esteemed panel. The relevance of black consciousness in a modern and post-democracy South Africa. We've got Dr. Musibudi Mangena, who is the former president of AZAPO, anti-apartheid activist, long-serving member of the Black Consciousness Movement. We've got Dr. Onga Mamtimka, senior researcher, political analyst, lecturer, and NPO executive of the Nelson Mandela University. We're also joined by Mzukisi Matlavu, who is the deputy president of the Black Consciousness Movement United. We're also joined by Siyabulela Mama, who is a spokesperson of the Assembly of the Unemployed, founded on the principle and practices of black consciousness.
It's always great to have somebody who lives in Ekurhuleni, run Ekurhuleni. He's a great family man. Hopefully he can do good by the people of Ekurhuleni. Dr. Kagaza coming up 7 after the hour 7. Thank you so much. Faith is up next. Pela and so me.
Let the good times roll. Turn it up. It's Metro FM, the biggest commercial radio station in the land. We